Hey, hello there. We're starting up the stream today and we'll be switching over to the art here momentarily. Okay, our stream should be streaming. I'm going to do a quick run through and make sure everything's looking okay. Gonna make sure I go live on Instagram. Twitch is live. YouTube is live, both portrait and landscape. Kick is streaming. The bots are here already. I can't stream to Facebook just yet, or TikTok, but you will find me over on X. Everything seems to be running okay. No, let me get this out of the way. Okay. Okay, streams are running. I'll be streaming for hopefully a couple of hours today before moving on to other stuff. If I have any audio issues, if you guys can't hear me but you see me speaking, please let me know. Spotify does not seem... Oh, there we go. Okay, cool. Let's get started. I think everything is ready to go. All right, cool. So going in today, basically continuing our streams from last week, where we went in and worked with mission decontrol, the mission decontrol topic, and science fiction. And we started off a sketch drawing that could actually double as either a splash page or a cover page. So today's purpose is to stream more drawing, going through laying out buildings and everything in the background. I will clean up the pencil drawing layer, and then hopefully we can get to a little bit of maybe gray tone and shading, maybe a little bit of color for this composition. When I last streamed, I had left off, I'd stopped the stream where we had our character drawn in. We had a little bit of a scene going and some details in the background that we sort of drew out. I knew at some point I was going to have to work on this offline, so I took a little bit of time today and yesterday to go through, make some corrections, make some changes, and show my character a little bit differently. And what we have here is our character Decontrol, who is modeled after a video game character. Not 100%, but close. Modeled after a video game character that is my avatar in the game Star Citizen. And I'm taking this character and I'm giving him more of a background story. That way when I go into the game, I keep things linked together. I'm constantly thinking of this and how I can improve either art, ideas, or story, even through the game. And what we have here is Decontrol in a relaxed pose with a chili dog, a bottle of beer, sort of leaning up against a broken gate, looking out somewhere and watching something that's out of view. But behind him, we may have some people in the background. We'll have buildings. We'll have to include a lot of neon lighting in the color, things like that, because this is going to be a bit cyberpunk, literally. I also had a helmet drawn in here. I thought maybe he could have his armor and other things that he may wear sort of draped over the edge or on the fence, as if he's just getting back from a mission or something and he's hungry, so he's chilling with a hot dog and a beer. And he had some of his armor just sort of removed and set aside while he cooled off and ate. My beer bottle's a little big. more of a 40 ounce than anything. I'm sure he's cool with that. Okay, so yeah, I did a lot of cleaning up. Took out like the helmet and stuff. I don't think I'm going to have the armor or anything sitting there. I'll just have the character. So I need to rethink like the area here where in the bottom left corner where I wanted to sort of put pieces of his armor draped over the edge. But I'll remove that and include a little bit more background art. So it just sort of brings him out in front of everything, and we don't have too much distraction next to him. Okay. I'm going to back up a little bit and go over. I'll do this each stream, where I'll go over a little bit of the tools and materials, applications, devices, whatever I'm working with today for art. Our focus today is digital. Traditional stuff will come a little bit later, but digital artwork is set up through my iPad to share my screen onto my computer for me to stream to you guys. My iPad is an iPad Pro, and I don't remember the exact dimensions of the screen, something like 2600 by like 1800 or something like that. I'm using Adobe Fresco for this project. I did a little sketch over in Notes. Here's the original sketch, which is kind of cool, sort of a peaceful drawing of him just chilling out. But when I bring it over into here and start telling more of a story, looking at this, I think this has more going on. It's a little bit more interesting to look at. Okay. You can see also where I've gone through, maybe rendered out some shading, maybe some dark areas where colors are going to be dark. Denoting some of the highlights and things like that. There's still a lot of work that needs to be done. I even went through and just sort of drew in some of the pyramid studs on this jacket. I'll remove those, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to put those on a separate layer and draw those on a separate layer after I go through and do some shading and stuff on his jacket. Okay. All right, and again, working with an Apple Pencil. Everything's charged up, ready to go. I am working with Streamlabs to stream today, and we are multi-streaming to multiple platforms, as I've noted before. Music today, and for now on, the only music I'm going to use for now is Carl Casey in White Bat Audio, who features a copyright, royalty-free, streamable Spotify playlist. Go check it out. It's technically it's called copyright-free synthwave. That's it. Easy to find. So if we look at our character and envision him relaxing with a chili dog and a beer in a setting that is cyberpunk, neon, dirty, maybe grimy. There's a tight space. Everything's crammed together on top of each other. Okay, had to mute my mic for just a moment. As much as I would love to work inside an enclosed studio, I am working from home. I do a lot of my work from here, or another location that I don't use as much. But here is where I have a lot of my things to work with. Unfortunately, I'm not set up as a super professional streaming studio. I'm in the corner of my living room, hiding behind the couch. And so sometimes the kitchen noise, whatever noise, kids, family members coming through the house, might be a little bit noisy, so I may mute the mic on occasion. So I apologize if I abruptly stop talking. We don't need to hear all the background noise. Okay. Where I'm at right now with the project is sort of just laying things out, whether it's going to be a cover art or it's going to be a splash page, a page 1 of a comic book. I currently have a Mission Decontrol title, sort of a working title. It's not the finished design of the art for the title. It's just something I need to put there, just a little placeholder. And when I open that up, we'll see that we just have 2 layers, Decontrol and Mission. That's its own thing. I'm going to hide it. I don't need it up right now. What this does is allow me to lay things out to where I don't accidentally have important artwork hiding behind the title. Stuff up here in the top of the artwork, some of that's going to get cut off, maybe a little bit on the bottom. The more central artwork is what's, it's going to be the focus. We'll typically work with an 11x17 sheet of bristles if we did this traditionally, drawing everything out, and then measure out a 10x15 space inside, centered, and that's where our artwork is going to be. I'm drawing all the way to the edge of 11x17. I want it big, and then I can always shrink it down a little bit if I need to. On my next layer group, we have just the pencil sketch drawing. I call it a pencil sketch drawing. Of course, I'm using a pencil, but I'm mimicking a graphite material as if I'm using a number 2 pencil and drawing things out. Once I'm done with this, I may go through, separate some of the elements in the scene, foreground, maybe separate that from the background. Maybe some of the things in the middle here, and separating all that together. That way I can make color adjustments and apply effects individually to areas without it affecting everything else. I have a base layer that's just a base color. That's it. And this gray that we see in here is the result of me copying pasting this sketch into Fresco, which we did in one of the, I think the previous stream, last week's stream. Okay. Taking a look at everything here. I'm going to go through, I'm going to go ahead and switch over to just the art. Alert box. Let's see, I do have, let's go ahead and throw a chat box in here real quick. Laying out both vertical and horizontal for the outputs for the stream can be a little bit tricky. I think I have it set where I need it. Chat box I'll put down here. I know you can't see it because no one's chatting. There's probably no one here. I'll put it down here. Okay, cool. Let's do a mic chat test. There we go. I saw it pop up. There we go. Oh, last but not least, I do want to feature my cat Kaiser, who sometimes pops up on the stream, comes to say hello. We'll give him treats if he comes by. Oop, I may not have any treats. Don't tell him that. Okay. I'm going to repeat some things that I may have gone over in the last stream. And I mentioned before that Decontrol is my avatar, my character avatar in the game Star Citizen. I want to give my character more background. So I'd like to make some comic pages, maybe come up with some comic covers to help sort of sell that story and make it possible. When we play the game and we create our characters and we can adjust skin tones and give them tattoos and piercings and different hairdos, this is what I chose. To give him a mohawk, to give him a little bit of a beard, to have him wear a leather jacket, very punk rock looking in this cyberpunk landscape. And a lot of that, to me, some of it looks a bit generic. And what I want to do is take the character, bring it into my world, change it up a little bit, but keep the connection there and keep the visuals there. A punk rock leather jacket is not a unique item, only to the person that makes it, but it's not a unique item in a game. So I'm not going to copy and paste the artwork I see in the game. I'm going to use it as influence to add whatever elements I need to, like his jacket. When I get into more armor drawing and creating helmets, backpacks, all the different armor pieces, it's not going to look at the same as what we see in the game. That I don't want to copy because that's not my design. So I do still need to work with some armor sketches to lay that out, design that out, to make my own thing. In our very futuristic cyberpunk landscape, we have a lot of tropey type stuff. We see a lot of neon advertisements. We see buildings smushed together, very little space. Things will look wet, shiny when we get to the color. Let's make sure we know where everything is going to go. We have our character. We have a platform for him to rest on with some stuff drawn in there. That's our foreground. You know what? No, I'll keep it together right now. I'll separate it later. Some things need to be fixed up here. And I have a good idea of how I want the background here. And I want it to go off into the distance. I do want a pyramid-shaped building in the background. And I'm just taking my time jumping into this, looking over everything, just letting my eyes draw in the detail. Okay, hopefully you can see everything okay. If this is the first time joining me on my streams, what you'll see are two panels on the screen. On the left side, we have a camera recording my handwork on the device. The panel on the right is going to be a screen share or a screen capture of the iPad. You're not going to see my hand. So unfortunately, even though we have good color and we can see things well on the right panel, it's going to be really hard to see exactly where I'm drawing if I don't have my hand there. You'll see the art come up, but I would like for you to see hand movements. I do like to talk a little bit about when I apply pressure, how I use the pencil as I'm working with it. Even though it's digital and it comes with, its own set of brushes and templates and effects and things that can be applied with just one brush stroke, I'd rather keep my arm, shoulder, chest, muscle areas that I work with exercised by still being able to apply pressure and movement with the art that I create on the device. So even though I'm using this digital stuff, I'm backing off just a little bit on how much of the digital stuff I'm using. Some of it's just not necessary. Some of it I don't even know about. And other tools and effects and things like that I do use, just not all the time. Trying to cram in as many buildings as I can. And with that, we basically have very simple geometric shapes for the buildings, flat tops, maybe some angles. But as I get closer to the foreground, I do want to add some more detail, some more edges and crevices, seams, joints, things that might show up more in the foreground. These buildings are big, so they're still in the background no matter how close they are to the foreground. They're still way back there. So there's not a whole lot I can do with that. All that detail, little details. Like I said, I want to put a little screw right here because this fence part is broken. And so what I'd like to do is show the threaded bolts that would have held that in place. Do I have this? Okay. I'm working with the pencil tool in Fresco at a size 6. Keep it sharp. And at one point I had some stuff over here draped over the railing here. But I went ahead and made the decision to take that out. and I'll still have this broken fence here. So I'm going to remove little sketch lines that I drew out that would show, or that would eventually render out into his armor for his hands or his gauntlets. I could always still add those in later at some point, but I'm not too sure how those are going to be shown here. So may just have to skip that for now. I could consider him wearing the armor. Like maybe he's wearing leg armor. The armor we use in the game, you'll have a torso piece, you have your arm pieces, you have a single lower body piece, so both legs are on that. So legs, arms, torso, helmet. And then you're going to have utility stuff to hang on there that you would need to use depending on what it is you're doing that day. Maybe it's tools for working with something. Maybe it's weapons and defense items. And D-Control finds himself in many different situations. Whether he's doing industrial work to make money, or whether he's doing mercenary work, or he's in combat, or he's at war. Whatever is going on. I'll use the same pencil tool for shading. I may use a smoothing function depending on what it is that I'm drawing out. Things like cables, cords, hard surfaced items that are machine made. And I want to make sure that I'm drawing it that way. There we go. Okay. Sort of prepping the area for me to draw more stuff inside of it. I was thinking of putting some boxes or something right here. I'll leave that there for now. Do a quick outline drawing of a background character. Maybe he's a courier of some sort. I'm just doing random stuff. For these background characters. Maybe he's a robot or a droid of some sort. Which, by the way, is not part of the game. One of the major details about playing Star Citizen and learning about its lore and its story compared to what I'm trying to do here is in the game you don't have robots, you don't have androids, you don't have artificial intelligence or any of that. They deemed it too dangerous, and at some point in this world or in this universe, that stuff did not work out. Automated robotic tasks and things like that apparently didn't work out very well, so they don't use droids. Where I'm going to take decontrol with this background, I'm incorporating some of that. Alright, sorry about that. Someone wanted to sell me pest control. I said no. We have a happy ecosystem of pests around here, and we like to keep it that way. Alright, now where was I? Just drawing in screws, drawing in some background characters, things going on, some more movement. I guess I'll go ahead and correct out what I was going to do here, which was drape some of his armor that he was wearing that maybe he took off to eat, and drape that armor across the platform here that he's leaning on. So I'm going to remove that. We'll redraw out this platform here. Using the ruler tool, have snapping off. Ruler tool, the ruler tool is handy. Can be a little tricky to use, or to line up with everything else. I just wanted to shade that in a little. our background character here. This part down here is the bottom of this background person. Yeah, at this point I like to see a little bit of the background and everything else stand out, or the foreground stand out. Go ahead and mask out the area that I want to fill in here. It's going to be quick and dirty. This will help me a little bit later on. Maybe, maybe not. Not sure if my Instagram live stream is still working. Looks like it's frozen. Even though I have these layers separated, I'll eventually merge them together. But I'll use a separate layer just in case I don't like what I drew out, and I can just easily delete it. I went ahead and ended the Instagram one. I don't think it was working. Thinking about putting a hologram there. Just going in and adding in some abstract details on the buildings. I try to add in some cool patterns, or not going to sit here and draw out every nut and bolt. As much as I'd like to. Ooh, excuse me. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and stop there and eat some lunch. I'll try to be back.